Kind of glad we didn't show you the last few games of the season. 2 draws and a loss. Didn't exactly sign the season off in style, although to be fair, we were using a lot of the rotation players we have at the club, who we're going to be losing now at the end of this season, along with a lot of other players, leaving us with a very small playing squad, and realistically probably not a lot of money to replace it in an effort to try and survive in the National League. I mean, when you put it like that, what could possibly go wrong? Time for the season review. How we doing, everybody, and welcome to part 6 of this My Career series here on Football Manager 2023 here at our first club, Dartford. I'm Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where we're going to be doing a season review, doing a transfer window, and getting ourselves ready for life in the National League. What could possibly go wrong? If you're excited to see how we do in this transfer window, and if you're excited to see the season review, there's a minor spoiler on there. And if you haven't watched up until this point, I am going to put a link up in one of the corners. But if you are excited to see what we do in the transfer window this summer, lots of wheeling and dealing on free transfers, I imagine, then hit the like button for me and subscribe so you never miss any of the lovely Football Manager content from this face right here. Before we get into the season review, actually, there is one thing I do want to do. I'm going to throw you back to past Stu. Because past Stu has got something quite interesting, a quite interesting little quirk that I didn't realise, but an email came up in between ending the last episode and getting to this episode. It kind of took me a little bit by surprise. It's a minor thing, doesn't really matter in the scale of the series, but it's really quite fun that I didn't realise. So, past Stu, take it away. Hi guys, past Stu here. I'm just about to get to the point where we're doing the season review. In fact, I'm just about to pack it in for the night. I've just saved, I just got ready. But I had to bring you back to this email that we got back on the 27th of April. It's the 1st of May now in game. But on the 27th of April, I got this email telling me that one of my coaches was retiring. Now, that's not a big thing. But I clocked the name and I thought to myself, that's quite funny. He's got Martin Tyler. He's got the name of the Sky Sports commentator. Didn't think much of it until I clicked on his... Well, first of all, I looked at the age and I thought, no, can't be him, can it? It can be. It's the Martin Tyler. He's a coach at Dartford. I had no idea about this whatsoever. I don't know whether he's mentioned it in his commentary. I don't know. I mean, I'm assuming he's still commentating. I don't watch football live that often because usually I'm at work. But he's a coach at Dartford, and I've double-checked this. He's actually a coach in real life as well. He's also been a coach at Woking, Hampton and Richmond, and Kingstonian. Who knew? If I'd have known this before, I'd have offered him a contract to be my assistant manager. As it is, he is retiring. There's no turning. He's got to focus on those commentating duties, hasn't he? Let's be honest. But, yeah, a bit of fun. I just thought I'd show you that because it kind of blew my little mind when I realised. Anyway, enough of sidetracking. Back to future Stu with your regularly scheduled contents. Cheers, past Stu. Martin Tyler. Who knew? Coach at Dartford. Coach at Dartford no more. He has retired. Well, he's about to retire anyway. But enough of that nonsense. Let's go on with the season review, shall we? I mean, there's a big spoiler there, but we'll get to that when we get to it. New arrivals. Oh, there were a few. Just a few. Not many of them cost any money. In fact, if we're being honest, one of them did. And it's Joe Yakiafano. Still don't know how to say his name, but we'll get on to him in a moment because our best player, apparently, was Ryan Huddart. I would very much dispute this heavily, but we'll get on to that in a minute. He was our goalkeeper, 55 appearances. Pardon me, I had a butt building up then and it didn't go anywhere. 1 assist as well for the club. He was very, very good. He's just a very bad shot stopper, so I do think we're probably going to look for another goalkeeper. I'm not going to have that as a priority. At least not as a high priority. It's definitely going to be a priority of some sort, but he did okay for us. I personally would have given it to Ethan Wassell. I mean, he's an A-. How he didn't get that, I don't really know. 52 appearances for us, couple of goals and an assist. He was solid at the back. He's been a National League defender all season. Got him from Derby County, of all places. He's been sensational. Joe Yakiafano, we did pay money for him. And to be fair, in half a season we had him, 11 goals, 5 assists. Be interesting to see if he steps up to National League and can do that job. Luke Colson as well was very, very good for us. He was a signing that was already in the club before we took over. 43 starts, 13 substitute appearances, 10 goals, 18 assists. Had a couple of ups and downs, but was on the whole very, very good. Mingoya did a decent job. I don't know whether a 31-year-old attacking midfielder has place in the National League. We'll see how he does, and we might just release him. But he's been very good for us. 14 goals, 16 assists. If you can replicate anything like that in National League, it'll be great. George Dowling, I feel like has got more to give. Took a while to get going, but when he did, he definitely did. 11 goals, 8 assists, did a good job. Chris Smith, solid enough centre-back. Would be happy to have him next season. Don't know if we will. Elliot Andrews is a youngster. We won't worry about him, but he is from Nottingham Forest, which is pretty good. Augustus McGiff. Very good off the bench, but when we tried to rely on him, it didn't really work, and he is going to be leaving the club, as are a few of these players as well. And you're in Livermore. Good midfielder. It'll be interesting to see if he can stay at the level that we need him to for National League as well. Smith Caruthers, he was alright, but he's going. So, yeah, old man. But I say old man, he's 30 years old. I'm older than he is. But, oh God, that's depressing. He was okay for us, but he just didn't click in the side. He's going to be going as well. Jaden Mundell-Smith, we haven't decided yet. To be honest with you, he started to click towards the end of the season. We need a massive upgrade in left back because both of the left backs were leaving a lot to be desired. Keane Anderson, didn't really play him. Matty Bowman, towards the second half of the season, did all right. Fair play to him. He did okay, and he's got a little bit of potential as well. So he might make the step up to National League. Possibly. Liam Vincent, Portsmouth can have him back because he was dross. And Reece Byrne played a couple of games for us towards the end of the season. Didn't look too bad, actually. Would be interested in possibly hanging on to him, especially because of that potential. And also, I mean, his one-on-ones are actually really bad. Maybe we want someone with better one-on-ones. But those are transfers in. Transfers out. Not too worried about, if I'm honest. There's one on here I would like to draw attention to if it's on here. I don't think it will be. It's not. I was going to draw attention to Radari, but Radari wasn't our player to begin with. So, how did we do? I'm a bit worried. It's only got the 2 cup competitions on here. I'm feeling like there might be a bit of an oversight. So, FA Cup, we were asked to reach the FA Cup proper. We did that. That's as far as we got. Swindon Town knocked us out 3-0. We got absolutely battered. But we did what the board set out for us to do. FA Trophy, they wanted us to be competitive. We got to a semi-final. And to be honest, Altrincham, no, they did batter us a little bit. So, it is what it is. But they wanted us to be competitive, and we did. The league is not on here. That's really frustrating because we won the league when what we were predicted to do, or what the board wanted us to do, was a playoff place. Media prediction, 3rd. Playoff place. We overachieved. That is something we need to bring to the forefront. It's not even on this screen, which is a bit of a concern. Moments to remember. Battering Worthing 6-1 is apparently one of them. Match to remember, the 3-1 win over Dover Athletic towards the end of the season. Sure, fine, why not? And the goal of the season was Anya in Livermore, apparently. I don't remember this one. Let's have a look at it, because I quite like seeing our goal of the season. This one apparently started off with an own goal from L. Ramsey. Don't know who you are, don't really care either. Right. George Dowling got an assist on this one. Let's see what type of goal this was. I'm very intrigued to see it. I do remember Livermore scoring a long-range screamer, so maybe it's that one. Right, Dowling has it here. Gets it into the middle. Not from there, surely. Oh, I forgot about that one. That is world class. Now, I'm not saying he's a world-class player. I'm saying that goal is world class. Better than that. Let's get ready. Chef's kiss. Absolute chef's kiss. What a banger. That is going to take some topping as goal of the save. Haven't decided if I'm doing that, but if I am, that's it right there. What a strike that is. Absolutely superb. We are still only at a local reputation. I would have liked that star to go up, but with all of the facilities and stuff being as they are, I can understand why it might not be that way. Finances don't really matter because, in the nicest way, we've got nothing to compare them to. This season will be the season we can compare it to. Merchandise sales, again, not much to compare it to, but it's interesting to see Caruthers is actually one of the highest shirt sellers, along with Fonkeu, Mingoya, Dowling and Coulson. Out of those players, the only ones who are definitely sticking around are Dowling and Coulson. Mingoya we don't know about, but Caruthers and Fonkeu both definitely leaving. In terms of the team of the season, it is the 4-3-3 we use for the majority of it. And the 11 is Haddart in goal, Winter, Wassell, SM and Mundell-Smith in defence. Can't disagree with that too much. Alan Dowling and Livermore in the midfield. Again, can't disagree with that. Murtaugh might feel a bit hard done by, but then Livermore did very better. That's bad English too. Did much better when he played in a more advanced role rather than the holding midfield. Alan's there purely because we couldn't find a decent holding midfielder who we could afford. And then on the wings, it's Fonkeu, Coulson and McGiff. McGiff's an interesting one, but I suppose over the whole season, he probably did deserve to be there. Radari would absolutely be there if we could have held on to him. And I think Coulson, he started the season really well, but I do think Mingoya could probably feel a little bit hard done by that he's not included in here. Fonkeo absolutely should be there, but 4-3-3, cannot complain about that. In terms of awards, I didn't win Manager of the Year. I don't know if there's a Manager of the Year down at this level. I think there should be. But we did win. We did win Manager of the Month 3 times. September, December, and March. In terms of the club awards, Fans Player of the Season, Fonkeu. Thank you for your service, sir. You shall be missed. Young Player of the Season, George Dowling. 24 years old. Probably the last time he's going to win that. Signing of the Season, disagree completely with Ryan Huddart, but he did okay for us when it counted. Goal of the season, we've already seen a screamer from Livermore. Top goal scorer was Fonkeu with 19 goals. That would have been different if we'd have kept Radari. Most assists, Luke Coulson, bang on. Most player of the match awards, Fonkeu, bang on. Highest average rating, Fonkeu, bang on. And most passes completed per 90 minutes, Wassell, who I think should be our signing of the season. In terms of competition awards, not a single sausage. In terms of the record breakers, again, take all this with a pinch of salt. This is all stuff that's going to have been kind of just for this season. It's not going to take into account past things. A lot of it is Radari, though. Most overall goals in a season, 24 from Radari. League goals, 20, Radari. Goals in a match, 4, Radari. Goals in a league match, 4, Radari. Most assists, Luke Coulson. We knew about that one. Clean sheets, Huddart. Again, take it for what it's worth. Fonkeu, we already know about that one. In terms of worth discipline, it was Ethan Wassell. 14 yellow cards, not a single red card, though. Youngest player is 19-year-old Keane Anderson. Okay. Oldest player is Tom Bonner. Yeah, to be fair. Highest transfer fee paid is the £10,000 we paid for Big Joe. Fastest goal was Fonkeu with 1 minute 50 seconds. Livermore, 19 years old, is our youngest goal scorer. And Tom Bonner, 34 years old, our oldest goal scorer. Lovely stuff. There's the table. That's what I wanted to see. Finished on 101 points. Splendid. And that was the season. Apologies, had to just edit with a quick cough. Forgot about the dynamic timeline. I'm assuming this is something that's going to look amazing by the end of this journey. But as you can see, joins, sign a young player, sign a young player, sign a young player, sign a young player, sign a young player. All of them. Every single one about young players. Then we beat York City in the National League. Signed another young player. We then beat Scunthorpe in the FA Trophy as well. Set a points record. Set another new points record. We won the league. And Radari is a record breaker, even though he's no longer at the club. I would very much like to bring Radari back. It's just whether he's going to be good enough to actually do the job, to be honest. Now, we are up on our social media followers. I don't know whether to be concerned by this. The core group is down a little bit and the family group is up a little bit. I don't know whether we should be concerned. Maybe we need a few more core fans, but I don't know. Maybe having the families in is not a bad thing necessarily. Fair weather fans are still there. The casual fans are still there. The hardcore fans are still there. Corporate, 3%. Goodness me. Goodness me. But that is the season review. And we've got a Club Vision expectation meeting. So let's have a look at this and see what they want from us. So they want us to sign under 23s. That's absolutely fine. And they think it's because we've got an ageing squad. We absolutely do. And I'm not against doing this, to be honest with you. We do need some experience in the team. They want us to play some defensively solid football. Fine. No issue with that. They want us to play direct football. Don't like that one. And they want us to play counter-attacking football. I don't like that one either. But if we can build a strong defence, maybe we do look at counter-attacking because we are going to be underdogs in this league, I think. I do think we are going to struggle. In terms of actionable objectives, I want us to grow the club's reputation as we go up the leagues. That should be easy enough. And I want us to work within the wage budget. We struggled with that last season. We did struggle with that. So we want to keep an eye on that a little bit. They want us maximum 1-year contracts for players over 34. I don't plan to sign anyone over the age of 34, if I'm honest with you. At the end of next season, our newer contract expires, and basically, they just want us to keep avoiding relegation from the National League. That suggests we're going to have a bit of an issue. I'm going to try and get rid of this direct football. I don't really like us being locked in. Okay, well, let's just agree to it. We'll do what we can. We play relatively direct anyway, so that's absolutely fine. We might just need to look for a big lad up front just to help us out with that, because a lot of the time, the ball gets lumped up, even though I don't want it to be. And it doesn't really go that well. So we might have a look and see whether we can get someone in who's a bit of a big lad, and we'll see what we can do. Right, end of season team meeting. Say to them, well, we're looking to be avoiding relegation, basically. So I don't really know. So, do we say, I'm already looking ahead to next season and we're definitely good enough to avoid? Don't want to say definitely. I assure you we'll be given a chance to come back and help us avoid. Maybe we say we're in a good position to avoid relegation. Good chance as possible. I don't really know what to say here, if I'm honest. I'm going to say we're in a good position to avoid relegation. We'll see how that goes. Oi. Okay. Okay. Right. Let's raise our hands. Let's say that one. Okay. We've kind of sorted it a little bit. We'll say that one and say that one as well. Okay. We resurrected that a little bit. Started off very badly, but we did kind of drag it from. We dragged defeat from the jaws of victory. And I know which way around I said that. That's kind of what that feels like. Oh. Goodness me. Right. I'm going to have a look at the squad. I'm going to have a look at the players that are leaving. And we're going to have a look and see what we've got to work with. And what we need to do to this team. Because I've got a horrible feeling it's going to be a lot. So when I said about the playing squad size, we've only got 11 players for next season. And that's assuming some of these guys sign new contracts as well. The one plus point is all of the players who are going out are going to give us some serious dosh to spend. £160 here, another £60 there is 240, plus 350 there. Let's call it 600. It's near enough. Up here to McGiff, that's another 300. That's 900. Over £1,000 there. Let's call that 1,100. Just round it down a little bit. 1,600 with Caruthers. Up to £375 there. We've got a lot of money. We've got over £2,000 worth of wage budget just there. So we can go out and spend some money on some players. We will have to be careful on that because that money will go very, very quickly. But on top of the money that we currently have to spend already, which is £4,000 spare, I think that's pretty good going. I mean, the board have gifted us a kindness with that amount of money. The transfer budget is currently empty because we put a lot of it into the scouting budget because in the nicest possible way, we kind of used all of our scouting budget. So we needed some. So it's going to be very interesting to see exactly what we do with this squad. Now, in terms of the loan players, I'd very much like to keep Chris Smith. I think he's done a decent job. Would he be a starter for us? Probably not. But I do think if we could bring him back, that'd be great. I'd consider Reece Byrne if we allowed our goalkeeper to go. If we were to turn around to... Where is he? Where's he gone? Where's he gone? Where is the little so-and-so? See him? I can't see him. Ryan Huddart. There he is. We were to decide Ryan Huddart with his 7 or 6 for his one-on-ones is not good enough. Oh, 8. Sorry, I got that wrong. We decided he wasn't good enough. We could move him on, bring this guy back in as a backup on his £160 a week, and then go out and find a big boy goalkeeper. We could do that, but there is a lot of work to do. I'm going to go and draw a battle plan up, and then we'll see what happens. I think this is going to be a very tough summer. I decided rather than try and mess about, we're trying to work out exactly what we were going to do. Thought we'd just come back on 1st of January and see what we've done between now and then, and do a bit of future planning to have a look at going forward. Transfer wise at the moment, I actually think we've done some decent business. So the first thing we did, although it's coming up as the most recent transfer, was we got Chris Smith in on a permanent. He's on less money than he was on his loan contract. Yes, there are some bonuses in there, but still, I think as a backup central defender, and he would be a backup, I think that's a fantastic signing. I'm really, really happy with that one. We did also make a couple of transfers towards the end of last season. These ones, I'm really happy with. And one of them, possibly even both of them, were our non-existent director of football, and by that I mean our assistant manager, Nathan Woodthorpe from Peterborough Sports. What a signing this could turn out to be. He's come in, he's our best left-back by a country mile. He's got potential to be even better than he is. He's got the potential to be, well, at National League level. Apparently he's playing close to his full potential, but he is absolutely fantastic. And then, we went and signed this guy, Vontae Williams from Crystal Palace. I say from Crystal Palace. I'm fairly confident. We got him on a free transfer after he left Crystal Palace. Yes, we did. But this guy, I'm hoping the scout report will still say it, but it doesn't actually specify it. Could improve a lot in the future. League One was the words that was used. Now, take that with a pinch of salt because of our scouts, because they're not the best scouts. However, he's already at National League level. I think we had to agree that we were going to improve some of our facilities. That might be a bit of a problem. We did also have to agree a relegation release clause. Now, I have no intention of getting relegated, but it's worth bearing in mind. If we do get relegated, we're probably going to lose him. But as a pair of signings for those two. Left back sorted. That position, not a problem. Centre back, we've definitely started sorting that situation out as well. The squad's not great. I mean, if you have a look at the tactics screen, you can see the spaces that are currently filled in. And then as you can see as well, we've got a couple of spaces on the bench, which I'm trying to lay out as a squad. So goalkeeper, right back, centre backs, left back, so on and so forth. As you can see, it's not ideal. There's a lot of places that are still missing, but it's fine. We're working on it. Take it to this screen. You can see just how many players we've got on the old trial basis. So we've got a bunch of players in. So Alfie Matthews is in. He's looking like he's going to be leaving us and we're not going to keep him, which is absolutely fine. I don't mind that too much, to be honest with you. But we have got a bunch of players on trial. Like different positions as well. I mean, if we just sort it by position, as you can see, we've got a couple of goalkeepers on trial. I mean, Dylan Berry looks good. Brad House looks good. The one thing I want to make sure is that they're decent shot stoppers. They're decent at one-on-ones, because obviously we are fully aware that Ryan Huddart, with his 8 one-on-ones, has looked a little bit woeful, if I'm being honest. Although his handling's pretty good, apparently. I'm not sure I agree with that. But we're definitely looking to bring in another goalkeeper if we can. We're also looking at centre-back and right-back. Keenan Ferguson is someone who did catch my eye. I don't know whether he is going to be good. All of these, well, most of these guys we've just brought in on trial, so we're going to have them with us for a little bit. Jonathan Page, I think we were looking more as a defensive midfielder for him. David Cisse, he was one that we were looking at as a winger, and he looks very, very good. Possibly even as a right back. Actually, now I think about it, I think he was as a right back. Josh Barnes, coming up as a left back. I'm fairly confident I was looking at him as a midfielder. We were looking at him as a midfielder. Why it said him as a left back, I don't really know. He can't play there, apparently. Although, I've got to be honest, he doesn't look very good. Who else have we got? We've got some good players like Jack Turner, 20 years old. I mean, if his star ratings are anywhere near that, he's a must-buy, surely. John Ashby, we've had in for a little bit longer now. 27 years old, a bit older. Physically, he's decent. Mentally, he's got some good stats. Not the best technically, but it's fine. Think of where we are in the league. It's not a problem. Chavez Munoz, I mean, just because he sounds exotic, we might look to him. Justin Donawa? Yeah, Donawa. If we can get this guy, I think he'd be good. Look at the pace on him, and he's a determined little sod as well. He'd be great. Gideon Kadua, this guy could be pretty special, formerly of West Ham. He could be quite nice. Look at the finishing. He's great. There's a lot of players here who look good, including a former Villa player. You know I'm probably going to try and sign a former Villa player. So, we're going to have to sort through these guys. And we're going to have to see if any of them are actually going to be any good. I have also made a short list called Targets, which are really, really good players I've seen who we are going to consider looking at. Some of these we are going to look at for loan, but as you can see, some of them now are without clubs. Players like Lucius Vine. Do you know what? Let's offer him a trial. Let's see whether he wants to come in. David Amilabu. We can see whether he wants to come in as well. David, do you fancy coming to Dartford? I would. It's a lovely, lovely place, I assure you. Rocco Rees, was he any good? He's pretty decent, isn't he? Goalkeeper, his one-on-ones are 11. I mean, it'd be rude not to, surely. Let's get him in on trial as well. I mean, a lot of these guys are former Premier League youngsters. They're probably going to want an arm and a leg to come to little old Dartford. But we can try. We've got the money. We've got over £6,000, over £6,500 if you're being technical about it. So maybe, just maybe, we've got a bit of a chance of signing one or two of them. We don't need to sign all of them. That's the beautiful thing. We do not need to sign all of them. I'd love this Gene Kennedy guy. He was on loan last season, so I do wonder, because he's returned now, can we get him out? Because actually, I would really like him. They really want him to play for them, don't they? Well, let's offer to pay all of his wages. And can we get him to the end of the next season? No, we can't. We'll make that offer and we'll see whether they'll consider it. He was on loan last season and he would be a stellar defensive midfielder for us. But I don't think it's going to happen. Alex Denny was someone else we were looking at as well. To be honest, I can't see that one happening. And I don't think he would want to come to us as well. I genuinely would like to get him, though. Decent tackling, passing's decent, work rate's good, teamwork's good, his determination's good. Physicals aren't the best, but he's got good stamina. I'd really like to sign him. I don't think we're going to be within a shout to sign him whatsoever. I think if we offer 30, yeah, that's way too much. We can't afford that. We can't afford that at all. Alex Denny's not going to come, which is a shame. I'm not going to lie. He was one of the ones I was really looking at. Amari Benjamin was one as well. However, we couldn't get him before. Can we get him now? They're not letting him go out on loan. That's absolutely outrageous. Why wouldn't you let him go out on loan? Surely you want him to go and get some experience. Who's Aaron Cosgrave? Should I know you? I mean, you made 9 appearances for Wimbledon. Would you let us sign him? You would? I don't really want to pay that much money for him, though. Goodness me. Right, I'm going to go away and try and do some more things. We're going to have a look and see whether any of the players we brought in on the trial are going to be good enough. Some of them look like they are going to be, but we are going to give it a little bit of time just to see whether they are. And we're going to try and budget as well as we can, because again, £6,8200 a week. Call that 12 players. 12 players on around £500 a week. If we can do that, obviously some can be higher, some can be lower. Higher, lower, higher, lower. And we'll see what happens. Maybe we'll get some in, maybe we won't. We'll give it a go. But we just need to build the squad out now, because just looking at players who actually belong to the club, it's in a big number, if we're being completely honest. If we just try and sort it by... That's going to be the best way to do it, isn't it? We have a look at players. Bearing in mind, we've got 2 youngsters in the squad as well. We've currently got, to be fair, we've got a squad of 18 people. I'll be honest with you, I thought it was less than that. But we have got 2 goalkeepers who have come back from loan as well. Well, actually, one of them's here, one of them's in the under-20s. My point being, the squad's a little bit healthier than I thought, but it's not that healthy. So we definitely need to do some work to it. So I'm going to go away, try and do some wheeling and dealing. And as we bring players in, I'll let you know. Okay, I got a little bit carried away and I went a bit further forward than I was going to without showing you all of the individual signings. The main reason for that is we have had a few, but we haven't had quite as many as I was hoping that we would. And the main reason for that is our scouts have actually done a really good job. They have brought us in players who would be very good National League players with potential to be League 2, League 1, on one occasion, a potential championship player. Now, take all of that with a pinch of salt, because our scouts are National League South scouts in the nicest possible way. But they've definitely done a good job, because a lot of the players we've gone for have been stolen by League 2, League 1, and on one occasion, championship clubs. So we've definitely been looking in the right places for some of these players. But we have got some of them, and we have already grown the squad size. So not including the 2 youngsters, we have 9. Well, technically one of them is in there as well. Daniel Genadu. He's going to be more of an under-18s player. Well, we're going to send him on loan. We've got 18 or 19 players in the squad, so we could go. Wouldn't be ideal, but we could go into the season. We've still got a number of players out at the club on trial, and we have got some offers in for 3 of them. So that would obviously put us up to 21. There's a couple of other offers we've got in as well. But before anything, we'll show you the players that we've brought in, and I'm very happy with the business that we've done. So I already showed you the 2 left-backs. I've shown you Chris Smith. So, starting off with defensive midfield, Jack Wadham. He's definitely on the lower end of the players that we've got, and he was brought in because there was a fantastic central defender who would have been a perfect defensive midfielder for us. He could play defensive midfielder naturally. He was absolutely superb. Went to a League 1 club. Absolutely furious. But Jack Wadham, on loan from Bournemouth, he'll do a job for us. He's got decent stats. He's got decent potential. He'll get some game time during the season. He'll grow. And he's only on £40 a week for us. Bargain. Absolutely superb. We also signed a new right back, David Cisse. So he's going to be probably our starting right back again. He's got 4.5 star potential, 3.5 star current ability. Looks decent enough for this level. Looks like he'll do a good job. We also signed a central midfielder, Jack Turner. Not the most impressive player in the world, but he has got potential to grow. Formerly of Southampton, I think he'll be fine. He looks very similar to Anya in Livermore, but I actually think he could surpass him, and he's been pretty good in pre-season as well. We'll talk about pre-season in a minute as well. And then the current last signing that we've got, Dylan Berry, new goalkeeper. He's got 11 one-on-ones, ladies and gentlemen, so maybe, just maybe, he'll do a better job. He looks like he could be good. He might actually be one of the players. I don't know whether it will say it anymore now we've signed him. Potentially be a League 2 goalkeeper in the future. I think it originally did say League 1, but still, that's potential to be the level above us. He's currently National League standard. A lot of the players we've got are National League standard, and there's a lot of talent in this squad. I mean, Woodthorpe, I'm still stunned we got him. Wassell's looking really good as well. I know we already had him. Same with Dowling. Colson's still maintaining his ability as well. Things are looking good. In terms of transfers we've got on the go, we are looking at a centre-back. Aaron O'Reilly we're looking at the moment. A free transfer. A couple of other clubs are in for him. I mean, he'll be decent enough. He's not spectacular. He's not quite the level I was hoping we would get, but he would definitely do a job. We do still need another centre-back other than him, though. We have got Jordan Winter, who can play at centre-back, but I'd rather not. And we still got, look at the wage budget we've still got available. I mean, this is insane. We've got about nearly £3 grand in here if we get all of these players in. We'll still have about £3 left. That's insane to me. Defensive midfield, we're still looking for someone. Jonathan Page, I think, could be that man. Again, he's got a decent amount of potential. We did have him on trial. A lot of these players were on trial with us. The trial has now expired. We just left it as late as possible to get as much information on them as possible. But we're looking to get him in. I think we're the only club in for him at the moment, so that one might go through. Adam Lover as a bit of midfield cover. I don't think we're going to get him because I think there's a League 2 side in for him. Hartlepool, yeah, absolutely. So I don't think we'll get him. I'm not going to lie. I got him just because he was there. Had him on trial, did okay. It is what it is. James Taylor, midfield. He could be pretty decent for us. His vision's not very good, but his passing is good. I'm thinking of him as the more attacking-minded central midfielder. We're looking at him because I think he could be pretty decent. We can get him on loan. I'd be very happy indeed. Owen Hesketh on the free transfer. He could be pretty cool. I mean, some of the stats there look pretty exciting for this level. Formerly of Man City and Wolves. We can get him in. I'd be delighted. Ross Crane. A couple of clubs are in for him. We probably won't get him. I'm not going to lie. I won't be too sad. He isn't the best option that we could have had. But he's playing on the left-hand side, and we don't have as much cover over there. So, could get him in. I wouldn't be upset. Gideon Kadua, I really would like. Good ability. Good potential. Formerly of West Ham. We are not the only club in for him. Sutton and Hampton and Richmond and Dorking are all in for him. In fact, have we not made a... We have made a bid for him, because he's on that screen. We must have... Yeah, we have, yeah. The issue with this one is... Sutton are a League 2 side, so we could be struggling to get him through the door. He's one of our players, so ignore him. And then this guy, Christian Sadie, not the most consistent player, but for pre-season, he was absolutely tearing it up. And it's just made me want to go for him. Physically, he's very, very good. The issue we've got is, I think we're the only club who's gone in for him at the moment. He is quite expensive. The contract we've had to put in for him is a pretty big boy contract. He was someone we'd ruled out originally because of that, but both of the backups I went for got signed by League 2 and League 1 clubs. So it is what it is. But we bring all of those players in. What's that? It's 1, 2. Let's ignore Adam Levitt. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more players. That would bring us up to about 25 players in the squad, which I think I'd be pretty happy with. We probably still need the centre back on top of that as well. Then we can have a look at what we've got. But as it stands, the squad is looking like this. The way I've done it, if you've seen me do videos before, I try and make it so that the squad here has the gaps that we need, and then we have a full bench with a full 11. So there's a full 11 on that bench at the moment of players we could use. I will say, Elliot Andrew is probably not going to be one of our strikers, so we'll move him out. So that is the places we desperately need players for. And at the moment, we will be filling them. Now, Aaron O'Reilly is over here, so we still need another central defender. But defensive midfield, we've got at least 1 coming in, possibly even 2 players who can play there. We've got someone who can play in this midfield role. And even if they can't, we could put Livermore there, and Livermore could do a decent job as well. We've got at least 1 winger coming in, possibly 2. We've got Herschel on the bench at the moment, who is still a decent, talented player. He can do a job at this level. We didn't give him much of a chance last season, so maybe we give him more of a chance this year. And then we need at least 1 more striker. Bearing in mind as well, extra players. We've got Jordan Winter, we've got Jinadu, we've got Elliot Andrew, and we've got the 2 youngsters as well. So it's all looking really good. A lot of things have to go our way. Again, with these transfers. Jonathan Page, again, I think we're the only one in for him. Adam Levatt, there's a few in. Owen Hesketh, I'm pretty sure we're the only ones in for him. We're not. Hungerford Town and Tamworth, but I think we're the bigger club out of those guys. Ross Crane's got a few teams in for him. Dartford, that's us, obviously. Grimsby, Hampton, Richmond, and Dorking. I think Grimsby might be League 2, so that could be a bit of a problem. And Gideon Kadua, again, I think we might be the only ones in for him, possibly. No, actually, we've already looked at this. I don't know why I'm saying that. So he's the one I'm a bit worried about. But Sadie, I think, we'll be getting in. So it's just a waiting game now. It's the 1st of August. We've got 2 friendlies left. And then it's the start of the season. In terms of our current pre-season form, it's been pretty decent. There's 2 games I want to highlight to you. First of all, Norwich. 3-2. They won us again. They won us against terrible English, too. They beat us 3-2. Bear in mind, Premier League Norwich. I know they probably didn't have their first 11 out, but still, 3-2. We've done pretty well there, I think. Pretty well indeed. And then we also played against Accrington Stanley. That's a mid-table League 1 Accrington Stanley. That's who they are. And we beat them 6-0. Take all of that with a pinch of salt. But my word, that is pretty impressive, I think. We have still got some players at the club on trial who we probably aren't going to be taking advantage of. Will Tizard we were looking at. I'm not overly impressed with him. He would be a good backup option. He could grow, to be fair. Leon Pambu, I'll be honest, I kind of would like him, but his stamina worries me greatly, and also he's very inconsistent. Some of these players are either really inconsistent, so they've got the dark red, or they're very injury prone with the dark red as well. So that has been something that has been a decision maker for me. This guy I really wanted, Brooklyn Genesini, too expensive. We just couldn't get him in, but look at him, he looks absolutely superb. Callum Riley, he's someone who I've just brought in on trial, and 29 years old. He is a bit on the older side, but he could be a very good defensive midfielder for us. Jordan Lydon, formerly of Aston Villa, very tempted to sign him. Same with DJ Campton Sturridge. We ended up letting him go because, again, he wanted too much money and he had no stamina as well. I would be tempted by this guy if we couldn't get anyone else in, so he's on trial with us still at the moment. Jermaine Anderson, inconsistent, injury prone. Other than that, he would be pretty decent for us. And we already know about Christian Sadie. We've already mentioned him. Right, I'm going to go forward. Probably until the first game of the season, see what the squad is looking like, and we'll see how things go from there. Actually, before I go, remember how we had Martin Tyler as a coach? Well, we've replaced him with Paulo Ferreira. Yeah, that Paulo Ferreira. Chelsea fullback when Jose Mourinho took over. That Paulo Ferreira. Just thought I'd let you know. Okay, bit of relief. Gideon Kadua has signed for Dartford. He's a 3.5-star player, 5-star potential, B- signing, and I think he looks pretty good. He will have to be a regular starter for us. I mean, to be fair, we've got a few players who are going to be down as regular starters, but I think he is going to be pretty good. So we can put him. I think he's already. Is he already about? Gideon Kadua, where are you? You're there. There you go. So you go straight into the team. He will not be playing on the left-hand side, unfortunately. He will have to play on the right-hand side. But on the right, I think he is going to be pretty good. Good on the ball. Decent enough crossing for this level. Passing's pretty decent. He's got a decent amount of physicality as well. He's young enough that he's going to grow. I think that's an excellent signing. I'm very happy with that indeed. I think we probably need to give him a squad number. I'll do that later. Players in the last year of the contract. Do we care about any of these guys? We definitely do. I mean, Goya, we definitely need to do something about. And when I say something, do we keep him or do we let him go? Because he's 31 years old. He's got a decent amount of natural fitness, but his ability isn't that good. And, like, to be honest, he's got some decent ability, but some of these stats are dropping. The physicals are going to drop at some point. I still love the fact that he's English. We'll hang on to him for at least until January, and then we'll make a decision. We definitely want to be getting George Dowling to a contract because he's prime for this level. He looks fantastic. Same with Ethan Wassell, maybe Livermore as well. In fact, a bunch of these guys we want to look at contracts for. So I'm going to do that off camera. Collective bonuses to be decided. Here's what I am going to do. I'm not going to change this because I definitely think this affected us in the domestic cups last year because I put it down to low. We are not doing that. We are keeping things as they are. Right, let's see if we get any more transfers in before the first game of the season. Bit of a good news, bad news situation here. Good news, we signed a couple of players. Owen Hesketh is in 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He looks like he could be pretty solid for us. Looks like a little handy player on the ball. We've also signed, where is he? Down here somewhere. Jonathan Page, defensive midfielder. Got to be honest with you, I clicked it and then I realised actually we've got a couple more really good defensive midfielders coming in. But still, 3-star current ability, 4.5-star potential. He's a better defensive midfielder than anything we had last season. So he would be a very good one if we need to rely on him. Couple of bad things. Bad thing number one, we haven't got Ross Crane. He's gone to Grimsby Town. Understandable when you consider that Grimsby Town are in League 2. Very understandable. We also are not getting Aaron O'Reilly, which is very frustrating. Cambridge United getting him. He's going to League 1. I can understand that completely. I don't know whether he'd start in League 1, which does make me think, do we? He's a former Villa player. I knew I recognised his name. Sorry. That was a... You didn't need to know that. I am debating whether we can try and get him back on loan, maybe. Let's say back on loan. We've not technically really had him, which is a bit frustrating. Sadie's trial is coming to an end. He has had players go in for him. We have offered him a new contract to see whether that will tempt him. I don't know whether the clubs who are interested in him are anything to write home about. See, Oldham are in our league, so that's okay. Harrogate are in League 2. That could be the one that's a bit of a struggle. So we have offered him a new contract to try and counteract that. We have won a couple of bidding wars with teams who are on a higher league than we are. I don't know whether we'll win this one, though, which is a bit of a frustration. Genesini is going to be leaving, as is Jordan Lydon. We're not really interested in either of those. The final friendly against Nottingham Forest under-21s is literally about to happen, so it's going to be interesting to see how the team does. But we are going to be missing a few players. So, for example, we do no longer have O'Reilly, so we do need to put Ethan Wassell in. Well, to be fair, actually, another thing we have done, we've put an offer in for Will Tizard. Maidenhead United and Peterborough Sports are kind of beating us to it. To be honest, I compared him to Wassell. He's actually better in a few areas. He's also a beast in the air. So I actually think Will Tizard could be a decent signing. So I'm actually going to put him into the team and see whether we can get him. Now, the only issue is Maidenhead and Peterborough are both in for him. Both of them are on our level or lower, so we could have a very good chance of actually getting that signing over the line. Callum Riley is definitely someone I am interested in the more as time goes by. The only issue is he's 29 years old, and really, is he any better than the lad that we've just signed, Jonathan Page? Is he actually that much better? He's better mentally, he's better physically, he's better in an attacking sense. Defensively, he's about the same. He's not as quick. Vision, technical, and aerial ability are all the same. He's 21, he's 29. I think he's a better option for the future. If I'm being honest, I can't see that being a bad one. What I am thinking, though, is Jonathan Page does have the ability to play as a central midfielder relatively well, in particular box-to-box, which we've currently got Jordan Lydon playing in. So if we were to say, pop, where is he, Jonathan Page into there, and have him be that player, or a backup player in that position, then it opens up us to be able to sign someone like a Callum O'Reilly. Bearing in mind as well, we do still have James Taylor on loan coming in, potentially. Reece Brown apparently coming in. I don't remember much about that one, but apparently I did that one. So, I mean, if James Taylor comes in, he has to start, I think. And I'm really hoping we do get him. There is another team in for him. I think it's Kings Lynn. We are in a division above Kings Lynn. I'd like to think they'd want to send him to us. Possibly. Right. I'm going to go away. The next time you see me will probably be before the opening game of the season, who is against Scunthorpe. They get relegated last season. Tough one. No, they finished third in the National League, so they are a decent National League team. So, but we beat them last season, didn't we? I'm sure we played them, and I'm sure we beat them. That could be a very interesting opening game. Right, I'm going to go ahead, and let's see if we can get some of these last transfers over the line. It is first day of the season, and we haven't got all of the transfers done that we want to do. To be fair, we have got a number of them done. It's not completely done though, so we're not as strong as we'd like to be. By the way, costume change, I'll level with you. It's a different day. So we have made a few more transfers. I'm trying to think of what the last one you guys saw was. I think it might have been, I don't know, it might have been Dylan Berry, I'm not too sure. Either way, we signed Gideon Kadua. I'm not sure whether you might have seen Kadua and Page. I'm not too sure, but just in case you didn't, Kadua, winger, we got him. Yay! And Jonathan Page, central midfield, well, defensive midfielder, can play in the middle, can play in central midfielder as well as central defence. We got him too. Yay! We also got Owen Hesketh on a free transfer. There's just something about the way he looks, and I know he's only 2.5-star current ability, but he's got potential. I think he could be pretty snazzy for us, actually. He's got a little bit of pace about him. He's got good natural fitness. He's got some flair. He's got some vision. His passing can grow a little bit. I think he could be quite snazzy, so I'm quite happy with him. James Taylor from Bristol City, we've got him on loan as well. Decent defensive midfielder. He's not quite as good as I thought he would be. He is more inclined to be in the middle. To be fair, I might end up using him in that more attack-minded position, actually, because we've got in Jonathan Page. We've got in the... where is he up here? He's one of these guys. Jack Wadham. We've got him in as well as defensive midfielder. So we might use him in a slightly different position, James Taylor. And then I ended up going with Will Tizard. I know I said I wasn't going to sign him because of his tackling, but actually, he was very, very similar to Ethan Wassell when you look at their stats. He's actually very comparable to him. So I'm not entirely unhappy. Also, he's very good in the air. So we brought him in as well. And they are our defensive partnership, as you can see. Tizard and Wassell. I don't think Tizard has a side preference. No, he doesn't. And I don't think Wassell does as well, to be fair. Wassell and Tizard as our back two. By the way, Ethan Wassell can play on the wing. I don't know whether we've ever noticed this before, but he can play on the left and the right. I think that's incredible, personally. I think that's sensational. So, that's the 11. We have still got some transfers ongoing. There's a couple of players we tried to loan in and it hasn't worked. David Omilabu. I don't know whether you guys saw that we were trying to bring him in. Didn't end up working. Didn't get him in. Elliot Andrew looks like he's going out on loan as well. Jack Hinchy and Jezreel Davies. We tried to bring both of those guys in on loan. The club accepted. The players rejected. We are now trying to bring in Alex Kapakpe. Big Al. Alex. We're trying to bring him in. We're trying to bring him in on loan. Hopefully, is he on loan? I think he is on loan, yeah. And hopefully he does join. I think another club are in for him as well. Aldershot Town are in for him. I don't know where Aldershot are, actually. They're in the National League as well. So it's a straight fight between us and them to see who he wants to go to. And then we're trying to bring in Callum Nicholson as well. To be honest, I don't know whether we actually need Callum Nicholson now. But I do kind of like the look of him. And I mean, that 14 tackling is just very snazzy to me. We've made a bid for him on loan. We haven't been rejected yet. So maybe that's one that's going to work. But at the moment, that's the transfer business. Here again, if we just have a quick glance over at the squad, I think we have improved things. I would very much like a new striker, if I'm honest, on top of what we've already got. But we'll work with it. Again, I thought there was another striker we were looking for. It might have been Omalabu who we were looking at, and it got rejected. Again, I played the rest of this yesterday, and I'm coming back to it, and I've kind of just jumped straight in. We do need another striker, but Joe did do a decent job for us last season. He has scored a few goals in pre-season, so he's looking all right. He's dropped down a little bit, but that's because of the players around him. Some of his stats are dropping down a bit as well, so we need to probably look at that. But he's still got a bit of pace on him, so that's the main thing. If we can bring another striker in, I think I would be very happy with the squad that we've got. Another midfielder who can attack probably wouldn't be amiss, but again, I'm relatively content with what we've got. The only issue we've got at the moment is Ryan Huddart has thrown a bit of a wobbly because he realises I've replaced him with Dylan Berry because Dylan Berry is a better goalkeeper than him. Unfortunately, it's exactly what I've done. I have completely replaced him. But that's going to be it. And we're going to be back in the next episode for the first games of the season. One against Scunthorpe, who we beat last season, and one against Bath City, who we beat last season. So let's see whether we can beat those teams again. And fingers crossed, we get the season off to a very good start. Or we completely and utterly capitulate. One of the two. Right, enough from me. I will see you in the next episode. Thank you very much for watching. If you've enjoyed today's video, please do leave a like on the video for me. And subscribe so you never miss any of the lovely Football Manager content that is to come in the future. I've been Stu. You guys have been awesome. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.